Gonna press record. 3. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, no, no. We don't want OBS here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, boy. Woo. Infinite as. Woo. Okay, let's move it across. Right. Gonna press record. 3. Actually, I'll use that as the intro. 3, 2, 1. Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I have made the switch over. I am on the new PC. Okay, so I can tell you right now, the audio quality coming through for this video should be bueno. And before any of you start getting funny with me in the comment section going, actually, Az, it's a lot worse, you know. I've got data that can prove this. So I hope you enjoy the increase in audio quality, because it has been a bit sketchy recently. That is not what you came here for. You came here for the Borderlands 3 info. Let's go through the Borderlands 3 info. So yesterday was April the 3rd. That was the date that we were promised more information about Borderlands 3. We got it. It seems to have confirmed a lot of people's fears. There's some good stuff. There's some not so good stuff. I'm going to go through it. So first things first, one of the biggest fears that people had was, is it going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive? And the reason why people fear that, the reason why they're not happy about that, is a lot of information has come out recently about the Epic Games Store, people really kind of like getting into it. You know, there seems to be huge questions surrounding your personal data and how that's handled with it. And also, it simply doesn't measure up to Steam in regards to features and functions. And so Steam is by far the much better platform to actually have games on. But Epic are paying these companies to put their games exclusively onto the Epic's Game Store. And they're doing it very aggressively. And this is also turning people off. And the reason why it's turning people off is because things like Metro Exodus, for example, that was advertised as a Steam game. You know, I don't think people would be bothered if they had the choice of Epic and Steam. But it's the fact that they're trying to pull these as exclusives. But anyway, Metro Exodus was advertised as a Steam game, and then really close to release, like 2 or so weeks before release, they suddenly come out and they say, oh, it's now an Epic Store exclusive. You can't pre-order it on Steam anymore. We will fulfill the pre-orders on Steam, but it's Epic Store or nothing now. And then, of course, Phoenix Point, which was a crowd-funded, and I'm going to go into this a little bit, which was a crowd-funded project, a spiritual successor to XCOM, same person who did the original XCOM. And then Epic swooped in, and they got an Epic Store exclusive with Phoenix Point. And the reason why that was so egregious, people, is it was announced for different platforms. You know, Steam and others, GOG as well. So that's no longer the case. So they gave money thinking they were going to be able to get it on the platform that they wanted. And then they've turned around and said, look, if you're not happy with this, we'll give you a refund, a full refund. But of course, that doesn't matter now, because even if they refunded every single person who funded that project and made it a reality, they would still make bank because of the money that they would make from the Epic Store. And this is potentially really damaging to crowd-funded projects, because people might suddenly start to become wary and be like, well, what's stopping you from doing a bait and switch to the Epic Store? And then all we have is somebody's word that they won't. So that actually might prevent further games being crowd-funded. And that is bad for developers. That is really bad, because Phoenix Point wouldn't have existed without them. On the positive side, if there is a positive side for people to look, it's only going to be a 6-month timed exclusive, as opposed to the 12 months which we've recently been seeing. And with the game releasing September 13th this year, it will be available on Steam come April time. And they've also given plenty of time for people to assimilate this information. This isn't a Metro Exodus last-minute job. You know, there is, 5 more months, 5.5 months until the release of the game. So they have given plenty of time. of course, we now realise why there were no, at the announcement of Borderlands 3 at PAX East, why there were no platforms listed for the game. Also, why they didn't want to discuss any of this, because they simply didn't want boos, jeers, anything else, any negativity surrounding the announcement of Borderlands 3. And can I just say, for the record, I think Borderlands 3 looks great. You know, it just looks like such a sharper, crisper version of the Borderlands games which we've come to love. I absolutely adored the first Borderlands game. I don't think I finished the second, but I think I got real deep, ladies, into the second one. But I didn't finish it. But with such a gap between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3, I think people are ready, particularly with the plethora of crap that we've had in recent times in regards to video games. And I'm looking at you, Anthem, and I'm looking at you, Fallout 76, and I'm looking at you, particularly just live services in general. So I think we're actually going to get a product which people are going to like. Me personally, this isn't a no. This is a game that I would purchase on console anyway. You know, it's a game that I would purchase on PS4, so this wouldn't affect me. But it is very frustrating to the PC industry, who have been looking at the console industry for a while and being like, ha, you've got to deal with exclusives. And now they're unfortunately in the same situation as console gamers, because they now have the Epic Store aggressively trying to make them exclusives. Now, one of my fears, and the reason why I'm on this page, this is my, this is the UK's biggest and pretty much only now, unless you're a small independent, this is the UK's biggest gaming site, gaming company. They've pretty much bought out all their competition. And so if you want to get collector's editions, they pretty much get exclusive deals on this all the time. But my fear was, just look at the 1, 2, 3, 4 different versions of the game. And if I scroll down, we've got this is the regular one, 50 quid. And then we've got this one here, which is the deluxe edition. And then we've got this one here, which is the super deluxe version. And then we've got the diamond chest edition. Now, I can't even look at this. Why? They've all been pre-ordered. I actually contacted Game earlier today and I said, excuse me, Game, why can't I click on this? I want to click on this to see what the price is and maybe pre-order. Yeah, right. And they said, sorry, the reason why you can't click on it is we have fulfilled all the numbers that we have allocated for this week. So we cannot do it anymore. But with the different versions comes season pass, which I feared, and all this kind of crap. I remember when the first Borderlands came out, it was just like, boom, Borderlands. I can't really flick with my left hand, but I can on my right. So it's just, you know, now we're in a situation, it's going to have a season pass, and it's going to have all these extra. There's probably going to be microtransactions. It might not be announced yet, but I reckon there's going to be microtransactions. Anyway, I want to just jump to Randy Pitchford, if I could. Now, Randy Pitchford is, well, for want of a better term, I find him a bit of a dick. He doesn't come across as a personable guy. I know he's been involved in good projects, and I certainly respect him in that regard. But as a person, not so much. But he took, on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, he took to Twitter to try and defend what was going to be the decision, because obviously the rumor was going around that because they didn't announce what platforms it was going to come out to, clearly this was going to be an Epic exclusive, and that's why they did it. So he took to Twitter to try and defend this. So he says, 2K Take-Two has exclusive publishing rights for Borderlands 3 and makes all decisions regarding price points, territories, distribution, and platform partnerships. Please direct all inquiries regarding any of those topics to 2K. We are just the talent. So he's saying, please leave us alone. Oh, I can already see, look. Part 2. As a customer, I'm happy to shop in different stores. Already do. I've bought games from Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, Steam, Origin, GOG, Humble, Uplay, Epic, and other stores. To me, exclusives are fine when they come with advantages. Well, we'll get to that shortly. And when they are short, say, 6 months. Now, this obviously 6 months is probably a little referral to the 6-month Epic Store exclusive it's going to be. For what it's worth, 2K's decision aside, myself and the team at Gearbox have a very keen interest in cross-platform play. We believe multi-platform support is a prerequisite, and Epic's leadership with cross-platform support is helpful to our interest there. There's some of this which I do agree with. I do agree that there's nothing wrong with multi-platform support, but it's the exclusivity that people are having the problem with. If they announce it's coming to Steam, GOG, and the Epic Store, I don't think anyone would have batted an eyelid, to be perfectly honest. And you obviously give people the decision-making process where they want to go. The fear is, of course, for these developers, is the fact that Epic will give them money. They will pay them to go exclusive. And the chances are the money they would have got for Borderlands 3 is huge. If you think something like Phoenix Point got somewhere roughly around probably 2.5 to 3 million to go onto the Epic Store, just imagine what a 2K and Borderlands is gonna do. And I want to go back to this with advantages. Now, if it did come with advantages that the player could see, the gamer could see, then I think they might be more amenable to this sort of practice. Potentially. Not absolutely, but potentially. But what advantages? The gamer is not seeing anything. All the advantages are going to the developers. Now, you could argue, of course, well, if the developer's getting more money, that allows them to do more productivity, potentially better games, blah, 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 blah. And there is a lot of truth in that. Also, there's potential for them to just pocket it or pass it on to the shareholder. As an incentive of doing that as well. Because so far on the Epic Game Store, we've, here in the UK at least, and I think in other countries, the gamer isn't seeing any benefit. They're not seeing a competition in prices. They're not seeing lowering in prices. They're not seeing anything that they're getting. The price of Borderlands 3 is going to remain the same on Epic Store as it would be on Steam, as it would be for console, etc. There is no benefit or advantage that the gamer is actually seeing. And until the gamer starts to see some advantages, then they are going to view the Epic Store with the suspicion that it is currently getting. Because right now, it's a very poorly put together platform that is doing weird things, potentially with your data, that's doing weird things, spying on your computer, and is not giving the gamer any benefit whatsoever. And with Epic aggressively and purposefully, and also with Tim Sweeney himself saying only a few days ago, oh, we're not going to be as aggressive as we are, and then just being like, actually, we're open to just being as aggressive as we are being. I can't trust Epic. If they start to get a big load of exclusives, I don't trust them to pull back and say, okay, now we've got some exclusives, now we're setting up the platform, now we're getting, potential audience, let's ease it back and let's give people some choice, or at least allow people to settle into this. No, if they aggressively go out there and they manage to pull these exclusives, I just see them being right. We can do this. Let's do more. So this is why people are so suspicious of Epic and the Epic Store and this platform in general, I think. So, it's coming soon, which is great. Only 5.5 months away. Take your pick at what bloody version you want, because they're all over the fucking shop. It's going to be a timed exclusive, but for 6 months as opposed to 12. You won't have a problem if you're getting it for console. And, season passes and goodness knows what else may happen. So the monetization could get a bit silly. We're just going to have to take faith on that and see how things develop right now. So good news and, also a little bit of bad news as well when it comes to Borderlands 3. But I just hope it's a great game. That's what I really hope, because I'd like to have some fun with it. But I hope you enjoyed the vid. And if you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming links. They're in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.